with the specific quote to translate, to discuss translation. So today, I'm going to share with you another quote, and I want you to translate it. It's a very simple one. You see it now clearly?
Yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Doctor.
Yes. I think it's very clear now. So the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Here, do you have any vague word? How to translate it? Ruqayya Majid is raising her hand.
Yes, Doctor.
Ruqayya, go ahead.
Yeah. المستقبل ينتمي إلى الذين يؤمنون.
What? Yes. إلى الذين what?
الذين يؤمنون بجمال أحلامهم.
Yes, جمال أحلامهم. Yes, good. By the way, do you find it a good quote?
Yes, Doctor.
صوت أبد مو واضح؟
أي دكتورة هل يقطع؟
You mean?
دكتورة
You mean my voice is not clear? صوتي؟
Yes, دكتور.
أي
دكتورة يقطع.
لا دكتورة، هو النت ضعيف يعني يقطع.
What's wrong? I find a very good connection to you.
دكتورة حتى البنات
No,
البنات هسه صوتهم من دا يحجون دا يقطع عندي، ما أعرف.
هو النت ضعيف اليوم ساعة يصير.
بس أنا شفت زي good connection. إياك؟ You mean all of you have a bad connection?
هسه ما يعني من بدك تحكيني يروح.
Yes,
I lock the door.
I have.
So ladies, what do you think? صوتي يروح وتقول رندا شو اسوي له اليوم؟ صوتي يحب يفتر. What do you think? What is your opinion about the quote? Do you find a good one? Inspirational? I am Muhammad. What do you say?
Yeah, it's a good translation and inspiration as you said. عن ترجمتها إنه المستقبل
Yes.
ملك
روان.
أولئك الذين يؤمنون بجمال أحلامهم.
مستقبل ملك.
Doctor,
Yes,
he
good.
uses simple words and it's. Doctor, he uses simple words and easy. It make us to make a motive inside us that we should concern.
Yes, good.
Should focus on our positivity. Yeah, we should focus on our positivity in our dreams in order to achieve them.
Yes. Yes, good. So, in Rawan's opinion, this is a very good quote because it has its own motive that pushes you to have your own dreams, that you have to follow, chase your dreams. Good, Rawan. So, how to translate it?
المستقبل ينتمي للأشخاص الذين يرون جمال أحلامهم.
الذين يرون أو يؤمنون. Good. So, I have two translations. I said ملك المستقبل ملك أولئك الذين يؤمنون بجمال أحلامهم. Rawan and Ruqayya said ينتمي. Here you are translating ينتمي just like you find it in a dictionary. Don't you have another suggestion?
زين دكتور نقول يعود. يعود.
Yes. Yes, this is another alternative, but there might be a very better alternative. Instead of ينتمي يعود يخص يملك. زينة.
دكتور وكان يكون له لائق.
المستقبل يكون. Can we make certain correction? Can we make a certain step to arrive at a better translation? In your opinion, Can we give another meaning, another translation having the same meaning of the source text? Can I say المستقبل لأولئك الذين يؤمنون بجمال أحلامهم?
Yes.
Yes, answer.
Instead of هو ملك أو يؤمن. So all your translations are acceptable. And even if I present a translation without a verb, I skip belong. Because I don't like, for instance, I don't like ينتمي أو يعود. I don't like it. So I said المستقبل لأولئك. It means that لي ملك. So المستقبل لأولئك الذين يؤمنون بجمال أحلامهم. Is it acceptable?
Yes, doctor.
When I skipped the verb, did I change meaning?
No.
Did I change
No,
meaning?
doctor,
No.
no.
No, doctor.
No.
Yes, here I've talked about ownership. I've talked about ownership, but without using the verb يملك.
مثل ما استخدمنا
I
in the
have
future
two
for
brothers.
those.
For those, good. So just like in this text, I have two brothers and a sister. How to translate it? I have two brothers and a sister. Here have it denotes ownership. هنا أيضا الهاف معناه ملكية يمتلك. Right? So how to translate it? I have two brothers and a sister. Just Ruqayya and Zina today? What about the rest? Where are you? Rawan, Alia, Zina. Yes, how to translate?
Doctor, can say لدي اثنان.
لدي, very good. So instead of saying, if I translated literally, اثنان أخوان, now you've made a mistake. Instead of saying, I have two brothers and a sister, instead of saying, أمتلك شقيقان وأخت أو أخواني وأخت اثنان من الأخوة وأخت. Instead of saying أمتلك, here ownership is not possible to be used in such a context. It is unacceptable for you to use it. So Zina, good for you, Zina. She said لدي. لدي, although لدي denotes ownership, but it is acceptable in this context. تشوفون بنات أنا ما أختار عشوائيا، دائما أختار المعنى اللي يتماشى ويا السياق حسب مناخ الجملة حسب أجواءها. So this is context. Context, it means that we are looking at the surroundings of the word itself. We don't use meaning haphazardly. ما أختار المعنى عشوائيا. I have to look at the context, the environment of the text itself. Here, since I'm talking about brothers, I don't say أمتلك because we use the verb أمتلك أو يمتلك with materials. Is it understood? So you have to follow your own dreams, ladies, because the future belongs to you when you have your own beautiful dreams. And you have to believe in them. Okay? I'll share now another file. Remember the last lecture, ladies? In the last lecture, we've talked about what? We've talked about different types or different modes of translation.
Of written, of oral translation.
Yes, Rawan. Can you mention them? We have talked about main modes of translation.
Yeah,
what
we have
are
written
they?
and oral. Doctor, the written, we said
Rawan, we have written and
yes,
oral.
written. The written, we said
Yes, thank
the
you,
translation
Rawan. No,
of the text,
give the
written
chance,
text.
Habib, give the chance for other. Thank you very much. Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Habibti. What about the rest, ladies? We have talked about two
the
main
oral.
modes of translation. Yes, Rawan says they are the oral and the written. And in the written, we have dealt with different types of translation. Do you remember some of them? Different types of text. They are translated just like written. Like what? Sarah Maitham.
Yes, doctor. We have religious, legal translation,
Good. Religious.
journalistic
Yes, thank you.
translation,
Yes, thank you, Habib.
and
So we have religious text, we have religious translation, legal translation, journalistic translation. We have political, siyasi. We have sport translation, just like in commentators, and they are commenting on matches. What else? We have literary translation. These are within the written mode of translation. What about the oral mode? Can we find also religious translation in the oral mode of translation? Can we translate religious texts in the oral mode of translation? You get my question?
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor. We can because we see to the text and we translate it orally.
Ladies, yes, good, Rawan. Ladies, as I told you, we have two modes. We have two main modes of translation. عندي نمطين أساسية. عندي oral and written. In the written mode of translation, I can translate different written texts, either legal, religious, touristic, نصوص سياحية, sport, medical, mathematical, engineering texts, etc. عندي مختلف أنواع النصوص that can be translated as written text. In the oral mode of translation, I can also translate such kind of text, ladies. So such kind of text, the written, the mathematical, the medical, the engineering, etc., can also be translated orally. So such kind of translations can be both translated as written or oral text. Okay? The difference is where? The difference in the mechanism of translation. In the written text, we are looking at the written text and we produce a written translation. The input is written and the output is written too. الترجمة التحريرية النص اللي أشتغل عليه مكتوب والنص اللي أقدمه مترجم أيضا مكتوب. Is it clear?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
What about the oral mode of translation? It is called interpretation. ترجمة فورية. How many types of interpretation we've talked about?
Two.
رقية.
Two.
What are they?
A consecutive translation and side translation.
Consecutive. Good. So we've talked about consecutive translation and side translation. Consecutive التتبعية أو التعاقبية. من اسمها تعاقب. It means that something after another, someone after another. Okay? So what is the main feature? What is the main feature of a side translation? By the way, why it is called side translation? Side. S-I-G-H-T. Why it is called side translation or side interpretation? اعتبار هي فوري. علياء.
دكتورة الترجمة المنظورة when we see the text and
yes why it is called why it is called side translation?
Because we see the translation and talk the translation.
So it is called side translation, Rawan. Yes, Rawan. Rawan, what do you say?
The doctor, because the translator is looking to a written text.
Sure.
Translate it orally.
Yes. So in side translation, the translator is using his or her sight. استخدم نظره. So it is called sight translation because the translator is looking at the text, at a written text, and translated orally. Good. So a sight translation is an intermediate level between a written and oral modes of translation. It is a mixed, a hybrid type, هو نوع هجين. It is neither totally, it is not purely written, nor purely oral. It takes the two modes in one session. The translator looks at a written text. He or she is using his or her sight and looking at the text and then translated orally. In the written text, as I told you, the input is written and the output is written. يعني الشيء اللي يدخل عقل المترجم هو مكتوب، نص مكتوب، واللي يطلع من عقله راح يسويه. He will produce it as a written text. But inside the translation, the input is written, but the output is what? Is oral.
Is oral.
Is it clear, ladies? Is it clear?
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
Yes, the problem with this electronic lecture is that I can't see your faces. I can't look at your eyes. There is no eye contact. That's why I don't know whether you are getting my message, you understand something, or you are just gazing at me, just like in your pictures. I'm so confused, ladies, because you don't participate. I don't hear your voices. I'm just looking at your eyes. And they are embarrassing, by the way. You are beautiful. And all of you are looking at me, you are gazing at me without any eye contact. بس أنا مرتبكة ما أعرف إيش يصير. Okay? I don't know whether you get my point, you understand what I'm saying, or you are just like your pictures, you are gazing.
لا والله دكتورة بدنا نفهم
What do
يعني
you say?
حتى تحكي عربي وإنجليزي.
تفتحون علي المساطيل مثلكم. لا شفت
لا
اسمع
لا
ضحكت
دكتورة
آية
تفهمون.
فهمت انه فاهمه شيء وعجبها الموقف عجبها الكومباريزن. Okay, ladies, we've talked about two important modes. In the second one, consecutive mode, the consecutive type of interpretation, in which the input is oral and the output is oral. An important feature in the consecutive translation, which is the translator has to wait for the speaker to stop in order to start delivering his or her message. We've left the third type of interpretation, which is the most important and most difficult type of interpretation. Do you remember the name of the last type of oral interpretation? We have sight, consecutive. Do you remember the third type?
No, doctor, we just reached to it.
Okay, it is called simultaneous. Simultaneous. I'll show it to you right now. Simultaneous, it means at once. فوري. So simultaneous, فوري. الترجمة الفورية. I'll share the file with you.
دكتورة يمكن هاي اللي نشوفها بالأخبار من
Yes,
من يمكن
the one that you
أو
see it
كذا.
in conferences.
يحكي أجنبي.
Yes, good for you.
Yes. هو يحكي أجنبي نصون
Yes, the
الصوت
one
والعربي يحكي.
Yes, I'll explain it. Yes, good. I'll show you. I'll share. First of all, let me show it to you in a picture, and then we'll share a link here. Look at the man in this picture. This is the third type. See, it is simultaneous. See how it is written? Simultaneous interpretation. الترجمة الفورية. It is done at once. Here, look at this place. It is just like a cage, right? It is called the booth of translation. Booth, just like the telephone booth. شايفين هاي المقصورة الكابينة؟ الكابينة مال التليفون أو الكشك مال التليفون يسموه.
Yes.
Yes, so he is sitting in an interpretation booth. He is sitting all alone. He is not with those. Here we have a conference, and here the speaker. So the translator does not sit beside them or in the middle of this conference. Why? Why? I'll answer it. In order not to be confused by the many voices and sounds, in order not to be distracted. So they find a translation, the booth, a special booth for a translator, for the interpreter to sit in and concentrate. Even look at the sign of the body sign. This, he is putting his hand over his ear as if he is concentrating. He is using all his strength to concentrate on the message. I'll stop presenting, and now let's take the link to see what happens in reality when there is a conference. Suppose that there is a conference. Now I'll show this link. You have to concentrate because the speaker, the sound of the speaker, the voice of the speaker is too far. Why? You will know why when you look at the interpreter. Yes, is it shared now?
No, doctor.
No, doctor.
Yes, a minute, yes, there's something went wrong. The internet is not responding. Yes. Google Chrome is not responding. Just a minute. I may restart. Something went wrong. You hear me, ladies?
Yes, doctor. Okay.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
It's good. Okay, okay. I thought I've lost you. علق على قولة جوانا. It is not responding. Control, I'll delete. Let me stop it now. I'll close that.
Doctor.
Hello again, ladies.
No, doctor.
You hear me?
Yes,
you hear
doctor.
me?
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Now, I'll share the link again. Ladies, listen. See? Ladies, you see the picture now?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Yes,
doctor. Yes, doctor.
Now listen. Listen, pay attention. يا ولد هذا منو ابن آية؟
لا دكتورة بعتهم نايمين.
So, ladies. يحفظهم يحفظ أهلهم. Ladies, listen to the speaker's voice. It is a little bit far away because we are concentrating on the voice of the translators. Listen.
يمكن أن ننظر إلى أي لقاح في أي وقت من الشهر، ويمكننا أن ننظر إلى معدل الدقة في كل شهر، ويمكننا أن ننظر إلى أي شهر نريد أن نقيم. هناك عدة تطبيقات عملية ستكون في التقرير إن شاء الله. التأكد من البيانات، تحقق من البيانات. جئت إلى منشأتكم الطبية وفتحت سجل شهر أكتوبر لعام 2016.
What's happening here? Where is the speaker? Why don't we see him?
They in the booth? Yeah, because
the translators are in the booth. Ladies, here, these two guys, don't, yes, these two guys, both of them are interpreters. There is no speaker in the booth. As I told you in the picture, remember when we've seen the picture? We've seen that the translator is sitting all alone in the booth, in a translation booth, in order not to be confused or distracted by any voice or any sound in the hall, in the conference hall. Here we just hint, we just hear the voice of the speaker faintly. We don't hear a very clear voice because we are concentrating on the translator himself, who is sitting in a booth and putting on some headphone in order to concentrate. Both of them, ladies, both of them are interpreters. Sometimes in conferences, one translator is not enough because he gets tired after about 15 minutes and he won't be able to remember whatever is said. The difficulty in interpretation and simultaneous interpretation, I mean, the speaker and the translator are talking at the same time. Did you see them? Listen. Here we have the second translator because the first one got tired.
وذهبنا في شهر يونيو إلى بعض الأماكن التي أفادنا الملقحون بأنه قد تم توقيعها، وعندما رأيت أن البيانات هناك غير صحيحة وكان العدد أكثر من 130% وهم
See here? Sometimes the translator cannot get the meaning, so he asks for his friend to help him. See? Did you see how he pointed to him to start? Because he couldn't finish translating.
Yes.
So what happens? What happens in simultaneous translation or simultaneous interpretation? What is the main feature? The main feature of simultaneous translation, or it is called simultaneous interpretation, ترجمة الفورية, is that the speaker
they translate at the same time?
At the same time, at once. Both of them are translating. This one, it means that the audience does not understand the language of the speaker. Here, the source text is different from those from the audience. That's why a translator or interpreter is found to deliver the message of the speaker in the target language in order to be understood by the audience. But in this picture, we look that one of your colleagues in another group asked me that, is it possible to apply a sighted translation while we are translating simultaneously? يعني أقدر أترجم ترجمة منظورة وأني أترجم ترجمة تحريرية? Is it possible? What do you say? What do you say, ladies? Is it possible to practice sighted translation while practicing simultaneously? لما أنا جاي أترجم ترجمة فورية أقدر بنفس الوقت أترجم ترجمة منظورة؟ Is it possible? What do you say? Think. Why not?
Yes, Doctor.
Ladies, in simultaneous translation, as I told you. Yes, Zahra, Aqil.
I think it's possible to translate.
How?
when he
sometimes, ladies, sometimes in a conference, yes, Zahra, sometimes in a conference, while there is an interpreter who is hired to do the job of interpretation, the speaker is speaking, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, he gets a written document and asks the interpreter to translate it side translation. Is it okay؟ يعني مع انه هو قاعد يترجم المتكلم ده يتكلم اثناء المؤتمر والمترجم يترجم له فوريا، بنفس اللحظه مرات المتكلم يطلع وثيقه مكتوبه ويطالب المترجم الفوري ان يترجمها. So he is doing a double task at the same time. I mean the interpreter. He is translating simultaneously. He is translating the speech of the speaker. يترجم خطاب المتكلم. And at the same time, he is reading the written document and translated outside translation. واضحة؟
Yes, doctor.
So we have taken the 3 types of oral translation or oral interpretation. In your opinion, we have studied them, all of them. Which one, in your opinion, I mean, which one is the simplest and which one is the hardest? And why? What do you think? Suppose that you are asked to translate either outside or consecutively or simultaneously. Which one you are going to pick? Which one you are going to choose and why? This is just an example, lady. I just want to know what did you get from this explanation?
Doctor, in my opinion, I think the side translation is easy.
Do you think the simultaneous translation is simple? Yes, Rawan.
Yeah.
Rawan says
the side
translation is the easiest one. Why?
Yeah. Because when I hold the text and I translate it, يعني شلون أشوفه وأنا يعني إذا قوي بالإنجليزي فاللي راح أقدر إنه أترجمه لغير لغة.
Say it in English. If you master English well enough, just like you, Rawan, you are good in English.
Yeah, more. I just want to convey the idea. So, yes, in my opinion,
yes, good.
The site is easy. Because if I'm very good in English, so sure, if I have a text in Arabic one, so I could translate it into English. This is a thing.
What about
the difficult
you,
one, I see
ladies? What do you think? Yes, thank you.
Yes, doctor.
Of course.
My opinion with
thank you, Rawan. Zina.
You're welcome, doctor.
Yeah, doctor. I am with Rawan because when you have a text, I know what that words after another, like a sentences. But in that, if I get that getting translate the meeting or something like that, I don't know or accept what they are saying to translate it. Or what you are there.
And simultaneous translation, ladies, it is one of the hardest. Yes, good. So in simultaneous translation, one can surely say that it is the hardest type of translation. Suppose that I'm asking you to translate what I'm saying right now. And as you know, speakers are not confined to a specific text. They say whatever comes to their mind. For me, as a translator, I don't know what is he going to say. But while I look at a text outside the translation, I'm looking at a written text. When I have a look at it at a whole, sometimes when I ask you, my students, Group B, when I ask you at the beginning of each lecture, just like the quote that we have taken today, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Suppose that I ask you to translate sight translation. So you look at the text and you see all the components of the text at your sight. You see them before your eyes. Okay? So you see the structure, You see the words, you see the context of the whole text, and you see if you have any vague word. So you have the ability to guess the meaning according to the context, right? But when a speaker speaks,
Yes,
I
doctor,
don't know what he is going to
time to
say.
think. There will be time to yes.
think.
But
Good.
here, in doctor,
Yes,
in this
very good. So,
third type, there is no
yes.
time. Maybe we can make mistake. It
Yes,
is live. Yeah.
Very good. So it is called the time. Yes, it is called the time constraint. يعني ضغط الوقت. The translator does not have any time to think or to find alternative, because if he thinks for a while, he will miss what? He will miss the next sentence or sentences if the speaker speaks fast. See, some of your friends speak very fast, so you can't catch up with them, even in Arabic. I know a friend of mine, she speaks very fast, so I can't catch up with her. Even we are chatting. Suppose that she is a speaker of a conference. Will the translator be able to follow her words in the source text, and then he thinks about her words and translate them to their target language? This is a very hard process indeed, a very hard activity. That's why interpreters are so few, and they are, by the way, they are well paid because they exert great efforts during a conference. That's why, as we see in an example, we have two interpreters at the same time. Sometimes the first one does not get the message. He needs a help, but mostly conferences, symposiums, etc., they hire only one interpreter because they get what do you say? They are well paid, so they get extra money. So institutions such as and conferences and the like, they don't hire more than one translator, one interpreter, because they have to pay too much for two, for instance. That's why they hire only one. But this one must be very competent, a very competent person who master both Arabic and English. He has a very good memory. He has a very good knowledge about both languages. Okay? So interpreters are professional translators, and they have great mastery of both languages. So do you prefer working as interpreters after this short introduction? I guess no. The answer is no.
No.
Because it's very hard.
No,
it's a very
don't
hard task.
take it.
Another colleague of you asked me, is it possible for a sighted translator to work as interpreter? Of course it is possible, but it needs to exert more effort, to study hard, to learn the terminology of a specific topic. And another one asked me, do all interpreters translate everything? Of course, the answer is no. Every interpreter is specialized in a specific field of knowledge, just like you, students. When you finish college, inshallah, you are supposed to be specialized in a specific field of knowledge. Either you are going to be teachers, translators, employees, etc. So you are going to work in a specific field. You don't work in everything. You don't work as teachers, translators, employees, sport commentators, etc. You are going to concentrate on a specific discipline. The same apply to translators and to interpreters. Those who, for instance, those who translate economical text, here I made a mistake. I said economical text. What does it mean, economical text? Remember the difference between these two terms? We have economic and economical. Here I've made a very big mistake.
Yes,
I was
talking relating to economy.
Yes, good. So economic is related to economy, while economical, it means to save money, to save something else. So suppose that we have an economic conference and we need someone to translate. They hire a good interpreter. This one has to read a lot about the terms, the terminology of economic text. You have to know the message of the speakers if there's any chance to know something in advance, because the terms of a specific field are totally different from another field. Even sometimes the same terms are used in both of these disciplines. I'll give you an example. Suppose that sometimes, ladies, a specific term is used in different disciplines, مجالات مختلفة, in different fields, but in each field, this same term has a different meaning. Do you remember in the last lecture, we've talked about, I'll share it now. We've talked about the tools of translators. Remember? Remember the tools of translators?
Yes, doctor. We said that the mind,
tools of the
dictionary,
translator.
computer.
Yes,
Good.
doctor.
Yes, good. So
Yes,
the tools of the translators are either dictionaries, websites, etc. So how to translate the word tools? Remember, we've translated in Arabic as
أدوات
أدوات or
أدوات
عناصر.
what, رقية?
I said
No.
أدوات.
You're not عناصر.
معدات you can say.
عدة. Good. رقية. Yes, we've said that عدة المترجم. شنو العدة? For instance, tools of an engineer. These are the tools. عدة المهندس هي a hammer, screwdriver, etc. But the tools of the translator are dictionaries, websites, etc., electronic appliances, etc. وترجمناها قلنا عليها عدة المترجم. So the word to عدة المترجم, it is translated as what? Tools. But when I say عدة المرأة المطلقة, here the word عدة المرأة المطلقة, can I translate it as tools of the divorced woman? Is it possible?
No.
Here, as you see here, the word عدة, the same term. Yes, good. The same term, ladies, the same term is used in different fields of knowledge. نفسه مستخدما مكانيا, مستخدما مجاليا. The same term. So if I use the same translation for these different terms, I mean different in context, my translation will be funny or it is considered as nonsense when I translate it as tools of the divorced woman. شنو المعدات مالتها مثلا إلا لا طابوقة تفشخ بها رجلها طلقها مثلا بهالحالة مو؟ So here the word عدة هذا خوش حل؟ مو أحسن شيء؟ So the word عدة when we talk about so the word عدة المرأة الأرملة عدة المطلقة. By the way, we don't say المرأة الأرملة أو المرأة المطلقة. It is understood in Arabic. عدة المطلقة, عدة الأرملة. So the word عدة here, how to be translated? Does it mean tools? Zina?
Doctor, we can say it's not tools. We can say a period
Yes.
of time.
Period of time,
Yes.
good?
You
Or
can
the
say
time? Yes, the time for the divorce, time allocated for the divorced woman. So here, see the difference? Although we have the same term in Arabic, the same term, but each field use it differently. Okay? This is how translators work. The one who translates in a medical conference, for instance, he or she has to learn the terminology, مصطلحات, the terminology of that field. Is it understood now?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
So this example, although it's a very simple one, I mean the example of the word, although it is a very simple one, but it is related to the theme, to the main theme of our work as translators. In a translation, we are supposed to concentrate on the context. We are going to use it all from now up to the end of our course. Context, السياق. What does it mean, سياق? It is the atmosphere of the text. It is the surrounding. What is the main theme of the text? when we السياق هو اللي يعني كأنما هو العلاقات اللي تحكم الجمل. عن شنو يتكلم? The main theme of a text. So depending on the text, we choose the adequate meaning. We choose the meaning according to the context. عن شنو يحكي النص? We don't pick any meaning haphazardly. ما اختار أنا عشوائيا. It depends on the context. Don't forget it. Whenever I ask you to translate a text, you have to look for the context. What is it talking about? What is the main theme of the text in order to check a dictionary and to pick the adequate meaning for that word? Okay, so I'm going to share a file. Do you have a question up to now? We have finished the two modes of translation, the oral and the written. Do you have anything to add or to ask about before moving?
No,
Okay.
doctor. It's
clear. Thank you. I'll stop it now. We have finished. So I'll share with you another file to see how translation is related to what? It's a context bond. It is written like that. I'll share it now. Now I'll share this file with you. So translation is a context bound process. What does it mean? Context bound. It means that it depends on context. It depends on context. Cannot be done without taking context into consideration. Okay? So I'll give you different examples. You know the meaning of the word bed. Bed. It is a very simple word.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. Old man was on his deathbed. Here. How to translate it? A minute to see volunteers. Zainab Muhammad. Yes, Zainab. Yes.
Yes. Can I say كان رجل كبير على فراش الموت؟
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good for you. كان الرجل الكبير على فراش الموت. Yes, what do you say, ladies? Do you have another suggestion, another rendition? زينة.
دكتور هو اختلاف بسيط. الرجل
It's
الكبير
okay.
كان على فراش الموت، أو نقدر نقول
Yes.
يحتضر.
Yes.
يعني
يحتضر.
Yes,
Good.
يحتضر
So
يعني
on
dying.
his deathbed, he's can we say another word instead of رجل كبير? What does it mean? The old man.
Yes, دكتور الرجل العجوز. العجوز.
لا المسن.
العجوز المسن.
الرجل المسن.
Good. العجوز. Who said it? رقية?
No.
العجوز المسن. Good. There are good suggestions. كان المسن.
Yeah.
عجوز. What else? Remember the story of the old man and the sea? شو ترجموها؟
Yes, doctor. Doctor, you write it from the beginning. I thought you were right. The old man and the sea.
المسن يحتضر. Yes, good. So كان المسن يحتضر. Here, she translated on his deathbed. She didn't translate it like that. Although it is acceptable, but you are imitating the meaning. We have in Arabic, we don't say, either we say على فراش الموت, or we say يحتضر, أو في ساعة احتضار. We have another expression to denote the meaning of at deathbed. What is it in Arabic? Zainab.
Yes, doctor. Can I say على حافة الموت?
على حافة الموت. It's okay. But in Arabic, we have a very nice expression. What is it, رقية?
Can I say سرير الموت?
في ساعات. We don't say سرير الموت, right?
Okay.
Did you hear this expression in Arabic?
Doctor, can I say
الرجل على سرير الموت?
No.
بس just a minute. زهرة عقيل.
دكتور, can we say الرجل في ساعته? الرجل في ساعته.
دكتور نقدر الرجل الكبير.
No, it is not unacceptable. Is it not understood? في ساعته. ساعة what? ساعة فرحة. ساعة نشوته. We don't know. So here you have to mention death. When you say يحتضر in Arabic, it means he is dying. In Arabic, there is another expression to denote dying. في ساعات النزع. ينازع نقول. Right? So all these. Yes, Zainab.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor. Can I say
Zainab?
في ساعات النزاع الأخير؟ دكتور في ساعات النزاع الأخير؟
ساعات النزع الأخيرة.
دكتور, can we say the الرجل الكبير على
Yes,
وشك
good for
الموت?
you, Zainab. All these renditions are acceptable. على وشك الموت. Yes. Sometimes, which one of them you like it more? Yes, which one of these suggestions you will find it more Arabic?
دكتور في ساعة الاحتضار. I think.
You don't have opinion? في ساعة الاحتضار, yes?
Yeah.
So it depends on you. Whenever you read more, you will get better translation. Ladies, you will get different alternatives for the same expression. So it depends on you to read. I'll take your names now in order to forget. Today is 18. Bara Khalid. Rasha Sadiq.
Yes, doctor.
Hurry up, ladies. Where is Bara?
Yes, doctor.
Good. Ruqayya Ali. Rahma Faris. Randa is here. Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, thank you. Swatna Sana. Randa Taha Rawan is here. Ru'a Sami, where are she? أجلت? Ru'a Sami?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Dania?
doctor.
أمنية عماد. أمنية, where are you? She is not here. She is absent. Zahra Jamil. Zahra, hurry up. absent. زهراء خليل is
Yes,
here.
دكتورة موجودة
آية
زهراء
محمد
جميل.
is here. زهراء صالح. زهراء جميل.
Yes, دكتور.
دكتورة أنا زهراء جميل.
زهراء جميل. أوكي زهراء صالح. زهراء صالح. بشرى علاوي. زهراء
نعم
خليل you are
دكتورة
here.
بشرى
Yes.
علاوي.
الخيزران. زهراء الخيزران where are you? Yes بشرى. الخيزران.
Yes, دكتور.
Where are
Yes,
you? Good.
دكتور.
You have a historical name. You know?
Yes. Yes,
Benin Abdul
دكتور.
Jalil. Benin Abdul Jalil.
Yes doctor I'm here.
Yes. زهراء عبد الخالق is here. زهراء عقيل is here. زهراء محسن. زهراء محسن.
Yes doctor I'm here.
Yes. زهراء ثابت. دعاء
دكتورة زهراء عبد الخالق.
Yes, I've written your name حبيبتي. زهراء محمد.
نعم دكتورة.
زهراء محمد. Yes, good. زهراء يحيى. زهراء يحيى is here. الحوراء. زينب الحوراء. Where is زينب الحوراء? زينب الحوراء. Absent. علياء is here. زينب حسن. زينب
نعم
محمد.
دكتورة. نعم دكتور.
Yes, دكتور زينب حسن.
دكتورة زينب الحوراء.
بلغوها موجودة. زينب الحوراء. Yes. زينب حمد.
Yes دكتور.
is here. Yes, thank you زينب. Good for you. زينب مفيد.
عفو دكتورة. دكتورة العفو سجلتيني؟
Of course, Alia, you participate.
Thank you.
I know your
Thank
name,
you.
Alia Shamsi Abdullah. Zainab Mufid. Most welcome. Zainab Mufid. Those who participate.
chat اكتب أنا موجودة. Yes doctor I'm here.
I know them by voice and picture. Zainab Mufid.
Yes doctor.
Yes,
doctor.
Safa Akram is here. I've seen her.
نعم دكتور.
Zainab Najm is here. Thank you, Zainab. Zina, I mean. Zina Najm, حبيبتي. Thank you. Sarah Kadam.
Yes دكتور.
Sarah
Yes دكتور.
Sarah Maitham.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, Sarah Maitham is here. Sanaria.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Where are you, Sanaria? Yes, Sanaria is here. Saja. Yes.
Yes doctor.
Saja is here. Saja Jamal. طيبة.
Yes doctor.
طيبة علي.
Yes doctor I'm here.
طيبة, you have so many absentees. Be careful. حبيبتي most welcome. طيبة أحمد.
Miss. Yes doctor. دكتورة.
later حبيبتي طيبة. طيبة أحمد.
Yes دكتور.
شوية طيبة علي ممكن؟ Yes. طيبة أحمد. سجا عادل. سجا. سورة. hurry up ladies. سجا. Yes سورة. Where is سجا عادل? Absent. Surah is here. Fatima Zahra. Where are you, Fatima? Absent. Where are you? Good. Most welcome. Taima. Where is Taima?
Yes, دكتورة موجودة.
Absent. Where are you?
موجودة دكتورة.
You are here. Aya Jasim. ايه حبيبتي سجلت آية جاسم. فاطمة الزهراء has left the meeting قبل بس سجلت اسمها قالت باي باي. See you next lecture. من يمها آية جاسم. قلت لكم بنات الميت راح يدز لي هاي استمارة اكسل يسوي لي سجل بياني يشوفني كل هذه بس قد وقت وش قد طلعت. واللي تقول عندي مشكلة بالنت يطلع لي إياها يقول لي تدخل وتطلع موجودة يعني. واللي يسوي تي وباي باي تبين. واللي تحضر من بداية المحاضرة نهايتها ينطيني. واللي يشارك ينطيني. برنامج إلكتروني متكامل. آية جاسم.
طاسين ذني الليلون
آية جاسم.
البرتغالي.
Sumaya, you are here, حبيبتي. آية جاسم. Sumaya, you are here. Yes. Aya Jassim is
Yes,
absent.
doctor.
Thank you. Now, we've said that in a translation. Yes, Habibti. Thank you very much.
دكتورة ما صدقتي
We've said
اسمي
that
دكتورة
Sundus. I
Yes.
have seen it. إيه،
دكتورة
سجلتش حبيبتي. ما
اوكي
شفتش
دكتورة
موجودة.
ثانك يو
صفا موجودة. شفتش كتبتي قبل شوية بالشات موجودة أنت. صفا أكرم موجودة حبيبتي. يلا good. Thank you. We've said that translation is a context-bound process. Here we have to look at the context. Since we are talking about an old man and deathbed, it means that he is dying. So it is better to talk about احتضار النزع and avoid imitation or replacement of words. Okay? سجلت اسمك لا تخافين. هاي كتبت لك رنده حلوة هاي الشات مالتكم. I like it. Okay, I'll give you another example. Life. Bed. Roses. Here. By the way, ladies, here the word lazy. You know the meaning of the word lazy?
Yes, كسول.
كسول. كسول.
Kasul. Good. So we have an important rule in translation. Look at the word lazy from the grammatical point of view. Grammatically speaking, is it a noun, a verb, an adjective, adverb?
Yes, doctor,
What do you
it's
say?
noun. Yes, it's noun.
No, doctor.
It's noun. When I say she is a lazy student, she is a lazy student. Is it a
Adjective.
noun or
No,
what?
it's adjective.
Adjective.
Adjective, doctor.
Lazy here. Good for you. Yes, good for you. So in translation, we have a very important rule. When we have an adjective preceded by, تسبقها, preceded by the, so here we are talking about plural, the adjective in a plural. So when I say he is a rich man, how to translate it? Or let me say it in another expression. This is the rich man. How to translate it?
هذا الرجل الغني.
إنه رجل غني.
Yes. How to translate it? إنه رجل غني أو هذا رجل غني. We are talking about a specific man who is being rich. But when I say the generous men are here, or the rich men are here, or instead of men, sorry, the rich went to the church yesterday. The rich, there is no mention of man or woman. Here I have only the adjective preceded by the. How to translate it? The rich went to the church yesterday.
الأغنياء ذهبوا إلى الكنيسة
This is the rule, ladies.
البارحة.
Very good. Yes, very good. Here, so this is the rule. Yes, very good. This is the rule, ladies. When I have an adjective preceded by the, it denotes plural. So the lazy in this example, it means al-kusala. The rich, al-aghniya. The generous, al-kurama. Whenever you have an adjective preceded by the, it denotes a plural. So how to translate it? الحياة
حياة ليست فراش ورد.
طيب
الحياة ليست فراش من الورد للكسالى.
ليست فراش من الورد.
للكسالى.
Okay, I'll leave this text. And I want you to give me your suggestions, ladies, all of you. All of you, give me your suggestions. How to translate it. But do you have any suggestion? Okay, Zina, leave it for the next lecture, Habibti. I have to
Okay, Doctor.
stop recording and say goodbye. Goodbye for each one of you. Thank you very much for making the lecture interesting.
Thank you, Doctor.
See you next lecture.
Bye, Doctor. Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Habibti, all of you. Stop. Yes.